Welcome back to another Q&A video. In these videos I answer your questions. I've got some really cool questions to tackle on this video, so let's get into it. If you want me to answer a question on any of the topics that I cover, then comment below or wait for a post when I put that out quoting your questions, and I will pick it up on a future Q&A. So here we go. Let's jump into this. My printouts are here. This is a question from Dan Zaman, and the question reads: Leeds chap myself, good stuff, that's where I'm from, looking to move to Spain, really want to give my children that lifestyle, completely accept that, man, that's amazing, we did that and it's changed our lives. And the question is, how do you earn a living there? I have a mattress factory here, but it's increasingly hard to make money due to everyone being skint at the moment. Mattress sales are 50% down across the board for the last 3 months. Well, thank you for the question, Dan. And I understand, I think that's challenging. The economy is definitely a challenge right now. Sales are down. How do you make a living? There are lots of opportunities in Spain, especially if you're a business owner and you can create your own opportunities and look and see. I think you've got a couple of options. If you believe in your business, you could take what profit it's making, install a management team or a manager, and you can move and live that way, and maybe you can set something up over here when you've looked and seen some of those opportunities. If you don't believe in your business, you could sell it and move it on to somebody who can take it on and take that cash and start a new business. Maybe you invest in a company in Spain, or maybe you start something online and do it like that. And my honest advice would be, speak to somebody who gets your industry. There must be consultants, mentors, coaches who have built and sold successful home goods businesses, mattresses and so on and so forth. Maybe you could speak with them. There's lots of people looking to buy businesses at the moment, but they will understand that the market is low, so you're not going to get a big premium for that. I think it really depends, and I think this is the important question, is ask yourself, what do you want here? If you've got the financial resources, you could move to Spain and look to make investments and sort of see and watch the systems. And I recommend you do that before you think about, I'm going to start this in Spain, because it is a different country and you can get a visa with a business plan to do that, especially if you've got a business back at home that generates income. The biggest thing that helped me with my business journey was hiring a mentor and consultants and coaches that were better than me at doing the thing they did. And it took me in my 20s, I'd lost money and had some failures. It took me to invest in a capable coach that radically transformed the business, and I was a believer. And then I've always had coaches and mentors working with me. So I think you got to really step back and ask yourself, do you have the fight to grow that business, or are you ready for a change and therefore focus on moving the business on and looking for the next opportunity? But I wish you well, good luck with it, and hopefully when you come out here you can have a catch up with me and we can take it from there. My best to you, buddy. Thomas has asked, great video, myself and my wife want to spend at least the winter in southern Spain. Can I ask if you have to become a resident or obtain a visa to enable a longer stay? In short, yes. You won't be able to stay in Spain more than 90 days without some kind of visa. It's not that difficult to do depending on your situation, but yes, and there's ways and means to do that. You could move directly to Spain, you could move into a country like Malta that then gives you EU residence, and then you can move to Spain. There's ways and means, and but yes, in short. Creator of food, love that. We love Food here has asked, what city do you recommend for a family with kids? Thank you. Fantastic question. I mean, there's so many amazing cities in Spain. My thoughts would be, I actually think the smaller towns, well, the bigger towns or the smaller cities offer more. If you take a city like Barcelona, for example, we're not far from Barcelona, but we don't live in Barcelona. It's a bit too big and crazy for us, and we wanted to live by the beach. So we actually live in a really small city that has a great infrastructure around it. I would look for those personally. People in the comments might offer different opinions, and of course there's people that live in Madrid and Barcelona and Malaga and Valencia that have an amazing life. But for us, I've noticed a trend of the smaller cities, the larger towns. They are really community focused, they have amazing fiestas and so on. You just got to make sure they have the schools and the infrastructure that is enough for your children. It depends on how you want to send them to school, be it a private school or a state school. Again, there are great options for both. That's my thoughts on it. And the perfect scenario for me is you're close enough to a big city to get in and have fun and do that. You have your own little place where it's got everything that you need, including the schools, and then you have kind of the best of both worlds there. Hopefully that helps, and good luck with the search. Fiza Raza 4926 asks, we're researching England and Spain for our family. I speak some conversational Spanish. Learning the language is my husband's main concerns. How hard has it been for your family to learn immersively? Well, it's not hard at all to learn immersively as long as you've devoted and given the time to it. So I've shared this story before. My wife is she's fluent in Spanish. She's learning Catalan. My children are really competent in Spanish and Catalan. I was the one that was letting the side down. So now I'm learning immersively, 3 or 4 sessions a week, and I'm really picking up my pace with Spanish. And if you devote the time to it, you'll pick it up quickly, and it actually starts to become enjoyable. And it really does open up opportunities. It's, I think anyway, a really, really important part of living in Spain. And I guess if you lived in Italy, you'd want to learn Italian, and if you didn't speak English and moved to England, you'd want to learn English. You will see a different world, and that definitely goes a long way to making friends and just integrating successfully. So yeah, if you give it the time, you'll have no problems, and you've just got to get over that initial hump of being really bad to start seeing the improvements and the snowball effect of that one. Hopefully that helps, and good luck. Keep me posted. Here's the next one. Here's the next question. I can't attest to collecting fragrances. I'm mainly here for the watches. No problem. My question to you as somebody who collects both is, what's the fragrance world equivalent of the Rolex Daytona? I love this type of question because it's sort of, everybody's going to have a different opinion, and it's like a pub conversation, isn't it? You can kind of, you could have a 6-hour conversation about this. So the Rolex Daytona it's the most in demand watch in the world. It's a very difficult to get watch. That doesn't really exist in the fragrance world. I would probably say it's like a Creed Aventus Absolute. Like, it's not the Creed Aventus, it's a level above. It could be a Xerjoff Naxos. I would say Rolex Submariner is Creed Aventus. Rolex Daytona, it's a kind of level above that, I would say. I think it might be something like a Roger or a top-end Zerjov or something like that. Zerjov Renaissance, that could be it. Really classy, not as obvious as an Aventus, but still it's an iconic piece. I think maybe you need to have a sniff of those and let me know what you think, my friend. Another watch one, JC Watches, has asked, can you now get a discount from ADs on undesirable precious metal pieces, or is that still impossible? So that's relating specifically to Rolex. You're not going to get a discount on Rolex precious metals. It's just not going to happen yet. It might happen, but not yet. If you go in and try and buy an Omega watch, they'll offer you 15% before you've left the shop, even if you don't want to buy the thing. But Rolex, it's just not happening. That could happen depending on how the economy progresses, but right now, no chance. They can still sell these things, and they might stay around a little bit longer, but they can still sell them. I think people will probably be able to get a decent dial date just relatively quickly now, and probably something like an Oyster Perpetual. But and then if you go in and want the precious metal pieces, you probably get that without too long a wait now, especially if it's like a day date. But yeah, no discounts, I'm afraid. Certainly haven't experienced that. If anybody in the comments has, then please let me know. Let's see here. Eric has asked, we went for a scouting trip to Costa Tropical and Granada area a little while back, planning to go to Greater Valencia area next. Any recommendations on best area for warm climate and affordable countryside housing? Well, the south of Spain is definitely going to be warmer than the north of Spain in the off season or the winter. The north of Spain is still lovely and warm in the summer. You know, where we are, Catalonia, it's been incredibly hot this summer. The south of Spain is even hotter in the summer. I think the north gives you a more temperate, milder 12-month period, but the winters are colder, and they are, certainly on the Atlantic coast, they are proper winters. In the Mediterranean coast, Barcelona and Valencia in particular, you're definitely getting a cooler winter, but you're getting a cooler, milder, more tolerable summer as well. And if you want countryside housing, and you will get a better deal rather than staying on the beach, yeah, you know, some of those towns around the Valencia area, Girona's beautiful as well, and the towns there. I think come away from the big names, your Barcelonas, your Valencias to a degree, and you might find hidden gems inland from Malaga, inland from Valencia, up further into the Costa Brava, and even down into Sevilla and that side of Spain. Sevilla is beautiful, Cadiz. Yeah, you're in a good place. The main thing is get your boots on the ground, get in, have a look, soak up the culture. It's hard to make a move like that without really being invested in the area. Hope that helps. Let's have a look here. I've answered this one. So one more here. El Cuervo de Sanlo asks, my question is, what if you are not able to work remotely? What are the options for a foreigner to get a job and live with that? So I did a video on this one a while ago, but check that one out. It's on the 3 things you need to move to Spain. And getting a job, the economy here is good. You can get jobs in hospitality. I think you need to do the due diligence to understand your skill set, your job, your training, how that relates in Spain. Do you need specific qualifications to work in Spain? What's the average pay of your job in Spain? Is that better than you're on now, worse than you're on now, and are you comfortable with that? It's going to be difficult for you to get a visa to get a job if you haven't already got a job and been sponsored by an employer. That's why my advice to most people is take care of that first. Have an ability to generate an online income, or obviously if you've got an employer in your country that will allow you to work remotely, you can get a visa potentially for that. And if you've been sponsored by an employer in Spain, then of course you can get that. So do the due diligence, get your hands dirty with that a little bit, come over, meet some employers, meet some recruiters, etc., etc. It is a big undertaking, but you want to make sure that you are going to be okay and sustainable and able to stay here long term before you uproot yourself and your family to come here. That would be my advice, because yeah, you want the move to work out long term, don't you? And if you come not with a secure plan and a base and a financial resource to facilitate that, you're going to end up leaving, and we don't want that. So I hope that helps, and thank you for your question. Good luck with the search, and thanks everybody for watching this Q&A. Again, appreciate it. Hit subscribe, hit the like, the thumbs up, and please do share with somebody that you think might benefit from this. If you have a question for me, comment below, and look out for posts where I caught those questions, and I will pick them up in future videos. Really enjoy these sessions. I hope you do too, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.